For lesson 12, we are still going to be working with proportional relationships, but now we're going to use those to problem solve. So I have some examples here. The first one says it's the end of the soccer season and all equipment at the sports stop is on sale. What is the sale price of a soccer ball that regularly sells for $28? And the little ad here says that all soccer equipment is on sale for 20% off of the regular price. So if it was originally $28, we could figure out what 20% of that is. So 20% of 20% of $28, of means multiply in math. So we're going to take that 28 and multiply it by 20%. Now remember, 20% as a decimal is just sliding that decimal back 2 places. So it would be 0.2 times 28. And that would give us 5.6. And remember, in math, we're talking about money here, so we want to add that 0 on for the hundreds place for money. So if they're taking 20% off, that means they're going to take $5.60 off of the 28. So now we have to do $28 and subtract the $5.60 from that. Would give us $22, and if you use a calculator it says 0.4, but remember we're talking about money, so we have to add that 0 on. So the soccer ball would sell for $22.40. So that's one way. That's kind of a two-step problem. We have to figure out what 20% is, and then we have to subtract that off of the original price. The other way that we could take a look at this is, if you think about the price, the regular price is 100%. You have to pay all of it. If you're going to take 20% off, that means there's 80% left to pay. So we could simply just take 28 and times it by 80% because that's what we have to pay. So remember, we have to change our 80% into a decimal. So we take that decimal and slide it back twice. So we would get 0.8. And now we just have to do 28 times 0.8, which would give us the 22.4. And remember, we have to add that 0 on for money. And that is how much the soccer ball would cost us. So 2 different ways to do a problem like this. It does not matter to me which way you pick. They both work, obviously. So whichever one makes the most sense to you is fine with me. All right, for the next one, it says Joshua borrows $300 from his older sister to buy a bike. He promises to pay the total amount plus 5% in simple interest in 1 year. How much will Joshua pay back in all? So again, we can do this 2 different ways. Since we're adding on, it says he's got to pay back the $300 plus 5%. So instead of that second step where we subtracted, we would add it to our original cost. So we would have 300. We would have to multiply that by 5%, and 5% as a decimal would look like that. 300 times 0.05 gives us 15. And then we have to add that on to the 300 because he's paying his sister interest. So he's giving her an extra $15. So this bike would cost him $315 total. Now, the second way is he's got to pay all of his $300 back. So that's 100%. He's got to pay everything plus an extra 5%. So he's actually got to pay 105% for this bike. So we could do 300 times 1.05 because that would be 105% as a decimal. And when we do 300 times 1.05, we would get $315. All right, so use what you just learned about simple interest to solve these problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper. So this one says that Morgan's mom wants to borrow $720 to buy a new computer. The store will charge her 8% simple interest for 1 year. How much will she have to pay back if she pays the full amount in 1 year? So she has to pay the $720 and she has to pay an extra 8% in simple interest. So that means she's got to pay 108%. So we're going to multiply this by 1.08 because that's 108% as a decimal. And that gives us $777.60. So total after 1 year that she has to pay would be $777.60. All right, this one says a bank advertises that they will pay 1.5% simple interest on new savings accounts. Lorenzo puts $400 in a new account. If he does not deposit or withdraw any money, how much will he have altogether after 1 year? So we know he's starting with his $400. And they're going to give him an extra 1.5%. So he's got his 100% of his 400. He's got all of his 400, and then he's going to get that extra 1.5%. So that would give him a total of 101.5%. So we have to slide that decimal back twice. So that gives us 1.015 for a number here. He has our 101.5%. So we have to multiply those two, and we get 406. So how much will he have altogether after 1 year? He will have $406. So he got an extra $6 for having his money in the savings account. All right. Mia told Patrick that her new backpack only cost $14 because she used a 30% off coupon when she bought it. Patrick wants to buy a similar backpack. How much will it cost if he does not have the 30% off coupon? So in other words, what's the original cost of this backpack? So if you noticed, we took the amount, the original amount. So, right, original here. Original times our percent gave us our sale price. So we don't know the original right now, but we know she took 30% off. So that means she paid 70%. So 70% as a decimal would be 0.7. And we know her sale price was $14. So we're unsure of this original price. So we're going to put an X there for that. We don't know what that is. So X times 0.7 gave us $14. So we are going to solve this equation. So if we're doing X times 0.7 to get rid of that 0.7, we would have to divide by it. Because remember, we have to do the opposite. So the 0.7s would cancel because that would equal 1, and 1 times anything is going to be that same number. So X is left. And then we have to do 14 divided by 0.7 over here. Gives us 20. So the original cost for the price that Patrick's going to have to pay with no coupon is $20 for this backpack. So we had to work backwards there. All right, so try it. Deanna gets 3 problems incorrect on a math quiz. Her score is 85%. How many questions are on the quiz? All right, so if she got 85% right, that means she got 15% wrong, because we have to think about that because we're talking about how many she got incorrect here. So there's 100% on the quiz. She had to have gotten 15% wrong because 100 minus 85 is 15. So 15% of something would be 3 questions incorrect. So again, this is multiply over here with the 0.15 in X. So in order to cancel that, we have to divide. to do the opposite. So the 15s would cancel, and we just have that X left on that side. And 3 divided by 0.15 gives us an answer of 20. So there was 20 questions on this quiz. All right, here, a store owner buys backpacks at a certain price and sells them at a higher price. The difference is called the markup. If she pays $21 for a backpack and adds a 40% markup on the price she paid, what is the selling price? So we know she paid $21 for the backpack, and we know she's adding 40%. And we want to know what the selling price is. So we have the 21, and she's adding 40%. So she's already paid 100%. She's going to add 40%, so that's 140%. And we have to slide that decimal back, so we would have 1.40 or 1.4, and that would give us our final selling price, $29.40. Remember, when you're using a calculator, the calculator is going to give you 29.4. And since we're talking about money, we have to have that hundreds place. So you have to add that extra 0. And also remember, we could have done this a different way. We could have figured out what 40% of 21 is. So 40% as a decimal would be 0.4. And we would take 21 times 0.4, which gives us 8.4, and in money, that's $8.40. And then since she's adding 40% up there, we would do 21 plus our $8.40, which would give us the $29.40. So remember, there's always that second way. There's 2 ways to do this.